Warning, this video may contain content that may not be suitable for children or anyone else that is easily offended. Strong language, graphic content, nudity, bad jokes, and a possible idiot, aka myself, may be featured in the following clip. Viewer discretion is advised. Channel is not responsible for any damages that you receive watching this video. What's up, y'all? It's Zems, and welcome to the Horrifying Murders of the Zodiac Killer. This video is by Buzzfeed Unsolved. So you guys haven't already been sure, swoop down the description box, click on the link, and watch the video in entirety, because I'm going to be pausing and stopping and talking to the whole thing. Yo, thank you guys so much for the 3,200, man. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for doing what you guys are doing. Again, I keep saying it. I appreciate you guys, man. 5,000 is right around the corner. The crow's nest is growing. If you haven't seen what I posted inside of the little comment section, what you guys did last month is insane. I think it was almost over 500,000 watched minutes. Man, that's ridiculous, and I'm only at 3,000 subscribers. So either I think they sticking me for my subs, man. I think people are watching but not subbing. I'm looking at the screen. It doesn't look like it's going to be Ryan and Shane. I think Shane is gone somewhere. Maybe he couldn't make it in this video. I don't know if you know anything. Let me know down in the comment section. Don't know who that is, but we're about to find out. He looks like that dude that be singing that one song in that music video. And it feels like I am just too close to love you. But for now, let's get it. And if you guys are new to the channel, my name is Reprisalzems, and welcome to the crow's nest.
This week on Buzzfeed Unsolved, we're covering the Zodiac Killer. Right now, we are at the scene of his first crime, which at the time seemed like a good idea. But now that we're here and it's fucking pitch black, this is a horrible idea, so let's just get this over with.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
So in the late 60s and early 70s, the Zodiac Killer terrorized Northern California, killing at least 5 people and claiming to have killed 37 people in total.
37?
He claims to have killed 37 people.
Like he wrote a note?
Yeah, he was a douchebag.
He's a cat.
On December 20th, 1968, around 11 p.m. near Vallejo, California, 17-year-old David Faraday and 16-year-old Betty Lou Jensen were shot and killed while sitting in a parked car in a gravel parking area off of Lake Herman Road, in the exact spot we are sitting right now.
The exact spot, like right here.
Like right here.
It's just the wind.
Yes, right here.
It's the wind!
You're not freaked out a little bit right now?
No!
What the fuck, dude?
It's the wind! You want me to we close the window?
Yeah, let's close the windows. Fuck this shit.
If anything, that will make someone easier to hear footsteps that sneak up on us.
Fuck, you're right. Let's open the windows. By the time police arrived, Betty was found dead on the ground 30 feet away from the car, but David was still alive. However, David would die on the way to the hospital. At this time, nobody knew that this was the work of a serial killer.
Oh, because it was the first murder.
Because it was the first time.
Yeah.
Can we leave now?
So I grabbed the camera?
What is wrong with you? You really not scared right now?
Why? Why on earth?
Because look where the fuck we are, dude. Look where the fuck we are. There's nothing around.
Have you never been in the middle of
freaking
nowhere
out right now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm freaking out.
Look at this shit. Where the fuck are we right now? There's just 2 of us out here, and who knows who the fuck is out in that darkness.
Facts.
Not down to find out. Call me a wiener, whatever. I don't care. The Zodiac's next crime would occur on July 4th, 1969, around midnight near Blue Rock Springs Park, only a few minutes away from the previous crime. The Zodiac approached a parked car with a flashlight, shooting 22-year-old Darlene Farron and 19-year-old Michael Mageau before walking away and coming back to shoot them both again. Both were still alive when found, but only Mageau would survive. Mageau was able to make out the face of the man who shot him and described him as a young white man, approximately 26 to 30 years old, stocky, 200 pounds or larger, about 5'8" with light brown curly hair and a large face. Within an hour, the police received a phone call from somebody claiming to be the shooter. He also claimed to be the shooter in the Lake Herman Road murders. Happened right around here. The parking lot was probably empty just like this. Yeah, I don't like the way this place feels either.
But people are weird, bro. People were legit go inside of the, I think the Black Dahlia Killer did that too. People just go in and be like, it was me, I did it. Yeah, it was me. You see my face? Look, I got blood on my hands. Like, bro, no, it wasn't you, bro. And then they try to tell them, well, what happened in the case? And they'll leave out like a main thing. They're like, well, I used a knife and it wasn't a knife. They're like, well, I used a gun and it wasn't a gun. It's just like, why are you, like, do you want the fame? Do you want the recognition? Do you just want to go to jail? Like, why would you do that? But I don't know. Him saying like, oh, I found 5 to claim the 37, name the 37 places. And then, you know, get your street cred. Why would you claim 5 but not claim the other 37? So I call it cap on Zodiac Killer, bro, 100%.
I mean, it's eerie because it's nighttime, but if I was here during the day, it wouldn't feel weird at all. Right behind you is in the freaking kiosk that says parking fees are free today. Like, that's not a scary sight.
I guess. On August 1st, 1969, the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner, and the Vallejo Times-Herald all received identical handwritten letters from someone claiming to be the killer. The letters revealed specific details about the murders to prove that the writer was, in fact, the killer. The letters were signed with a distinct mark, a circle with a cross through it, the mark that would eventually become known as the mark of the Zodiac Killer. Also included in the letters were 3 different codes that the Zodiac demanded be printed in newspapers or else he would kill again.
Why did they print them?
Because he said if they didn't print them, he would kill more.
That just creates fear and gives the killer what they want.
But at the same time, I wouldn't want death in my hands either.
It's not your hands. You're not killing anybody. That guy is killing someone.
True.
You not printing something has nothing to do with whether or not someone is going to kill someone.
The Zodiac.
Then, on top of that, if you don't give him what he wants, he's going to get even more pissed, and he's going to become desperate, and he's going to go out and kill more, and he's going to slip up and get caught, bro. You don't never give serial killers what they want, bro. You don't demand anything. You're killing people. You like, what? That's like me go outside and stab somebody and be like, you better give me a 20-piece McNugget with a large fries by 5 o'clock or I'm killing again. I'm like, what? You don't get your own food. I'm not about to give you McDonald's. Like, what?
Claimed that the cracked codes would reveal his identity. On August 4th, another letter was received that started with the phrase, "This is the Zodiac speaking," marking the first time the killer referred to himself as the Zodiac. On August 8th, 1969, the code was cracked by a couple in Salinas, California. It reads, "I like killing because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest because man is the most dangerous animal of all to kill. Something gives me the most thrilling experience. It is even better than getting your rocks off with a girl. The best part of it is that when I die, I will be reborn in paradise, and those I have killed will become my slaves. I will not give you my name because you will try to slow down or stop my collecting of slaves for afterlife."
Since when do you get to keep slaves in the afterlife and kill someone?
Well, apparently that's common knowledge in Crazy Town. Also, this dude must have skipped class the day they taught run-on sentences because that shit was ridiculous.
Also, this guy sounds like just the biggest bro douche ever, right? Killing is better than getting my nuts off with a girl? Like,
he's a virgin.
On September 27th, 1969 in Napa, California, 22-year-old Cecilia Shepard and 20-year-old Brian Hartnell were picnicking on the shore of Lake Berryessa when Cecilia saw a man hiding behind a nearby tree and staring at her. After some time, the man came out from behind the tree, wearing an executioner-style hood over his head, with a Zodiac Killer symbol on his chest. He had a gun and a long knife, and used pre-cut rope to tie up Cecilia and Brian before stabbing them repeatedly. Cecilia would die at the hospital, but Brian Hartnell would survive, despite being stabbed 6 times in the back. Brian Hartnell described the man as being 5'8" to 6 feet tall. Heavy set, weighing about 225 to 250 pounds, with dark brown hair that he saw through the eye holes in the mask. A message was found on the side of Brian's car with the Zodiac sign, the dates of all 3 killings, and the words "by knife" written below the September 27th date.
What did he use to write on the car?
Just a little black paint, you know. Maybe went to Jones Crafts and Supplies.
Michael's.
Michael.
Office decor. And then on top of that, bro, he's out here creating uniform for his killings, bro. He really went out there looking like the dude from Shrek, the one that was like, pick number 3, man, look. Really went out there looking like executioner style, bro. Like, what? Medieval times, Skyrim looking ass boy. It's not many 5'8", heavy set, curly hair brown dudes in the area, I don't think. At least during that. That doesn't sound normal to me. That sounds like you stick out like a sore thumb, but that's just me. I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
October 11th, 1969, just before 10 p.m. in San Francisco, California, at the intersection of Washington and Cherry, a cab driver, Paul Stein, was shot in the head by his passenger. A teenage girl from her home across the street heard the shot, along with 2 other witnesses in her home, and got a good look at the man as he wiped down the car and walked away. They called the police and described the man as a white male between 25 to 30 years old, 5'8" to 5'9" tall, stocky, with a reddish-brown crew cut and heavy-rimmed glasses. A police car that was nearby came quickly to the scene. But the chaos of the situation would strangely result in the police dispatcher incorrectly identifying the suspect as an African-American male.
Oh, that's crazy. They mistakenly did that, huh? Because white and black sound so damn similar. It's crazy.
Classic. Way to go, fucking San Francisco police.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, God damn it.
Oh, my Lord.
Anyways, that incorrect identification would prove to have disastrous consequences.
Dummy.
The police car driven by Officer Don Falk and Eric Zelms would come up on a white male walking on the sidewalk described by Officer Falk as 5'10", 170 pounds, about 40 years old, wearing glasses with reddish hair and a crew cut, very similar to the description offered by the teenage girl. However, because they were looking for an African-American male, Falk and Zelms left the man alone.
Oh my God.
Watching him disappear into Presidio Park. The yeah, brutal, right? Right now we're coming up to where the two officers allegedly saw the Zodiac. They turned left on the Jackson right here. And they saw a white guy walking right here. So the officers think he walked down to the park and entered through here. And then that's where they lost him. The Zodiac would later comment on this interaction in a later letter in detail, making it very likely that Falcon-Zelms came into contact with the nation's most notorious serial killer at the time without even knowing it. A composite sketch would be drawn based on the two descriptions that would later become part of a famous wanted poster.
This a Ted Cruz wanted poster?
Yeah, it is.
It is the one that everyone's going,
Yeah.
it's like Ted Cruz.
Regardless, the theory's ridiculous because Ted Cruz wasn't even alive when the Zodiac was killing people. Case closed. It wasn't Ted Cruz unless he's a fucking time traveler.
Unless he changed his birth certificate, man. Remember how obsessed with Obama's birth certificate they were? I want to see Ted Cruz's real birth certificate, that's all I'm saying.
Another crucial piece of evidence was a bloody fingerprint discovered in the cab.
I'm sorry, how do you mix that up? Yes, officers, hello, I'm making a call. He was 5'10", stocky, white male. He looks between 25 to 30 years old, and he has reddish-brown crew cut. All right, ma'am, got it. You say he's about 6'3". You said medium skin fade, probably a taper in the back, really good edge up. You said, what, about 180 pounds? You said, kind of athletic. All right, got it, man. We're sending officers your way. How the hell do you mess that up, bro? Whoever this dispatcher is, just know, if you're watching this, you are the reason why that killer got away. You had one job. Your one job is to listen to details. That's it. That's all you gotta do. You just gotta listen and you gotta just give the message to the officers and send. I don't know if she did that to get them there faster or what, but oh my lord, this dude got caught. We can all know who it is. We'll never know now. But he wasn't 25 to 30. They say he looked 40, so he's an older type of person. But then again, people keep seeing him from a distance, so he may look young.
However, the Zodiac also claims in a letter that it was planted by him to throw the cops off his trail. 2 days later, the San Francisco Chronicle gets another letter that claims responsibility for the cab driver Paul Stein's murder, and includes a piece of Stein's blood-stained shirt. Even more horrifying, the letter also included, quote, "School children make nice targets. I think I shall wipe out a school bus some morning. Just shoot out the front tire and then pick off the kiddies as they come bouncing out."
Yeah, he is savage.
He also later included diagrams of bombs that could be used on buses.
Where is he dropping these letters off? How does he get these letters to the press?
Also, like, the image of, like,
That's
the
true.
Zodiac sitting down in his little desk getting his, like, pen ready.
I mean, he does seem like he'd be into calligraphy,
Maybe.
right? This guy seems crazy enough that he's got a fucking quill pen.
He has a letter writing desk.
What's the name they call letter writing desks?
Oh, fuck.
There's a specific name.
After this, a Zodiac task force was created so that multiple departments could share info. On April 20th, 1970, a letter to the San Francisco Chronicle included a cipher with the sentence, "My name is blank," which would later become a point of contention in potential suspects. The Zodiac would continue to send letters before stopping in 1971, only to send his last letter in 1974, where he claims to have killed 37 people and bizarrely reviews his viewing of The Exorcist, which he called, quote, "the best satirical comedy that I have ever seen," end quote.
What? This guy,
Can't imagine why he felt the need to write a Rotten Tomatoes review in his last letter, but
he had no friends. The only people he could talk to were the press and the police.
do you think he would be a frequent Yelper today if he were still alive?
Yeah.
Oh, he'd definitely be a fucking one-star
One-star
Yelper.
review.
Skipping forward, in 2002, the San Francisco Police Department was able to extract a partial genetic profile from a Zodiac letter from the saliva on the stamp. The profile was not enough to conclusively identify a single person, but enough to eliminate potential suspects. And with that, let's take a look at the suspects with the most circumstantial evidence against them.
All right, let's get
The
it.
first theory is from Gary Stewart, who believes that his father, Earl Van Best Jr., was the Zodiac killer. Gary Stewart published a book called The Most Dangerous Animal of All that presents this theory. Earl Van Best Jr. bears an uncanny resemblance to the composite sketch from the Paul Stein killing. His name also matches the number of characters in the My Name Is cipher. Finally, Stewart says a handwriting expert is virtually certain that Best's handwriting on his marriage license matches the writing of the Zodiac killer. Now, here are reasons why Best may not be the Zodiac. According to an administrator at the church where Best's marriage certificate came from, the handwriting is that of the priest and not Best himself, making the match that was virtually certain implicate the priest rather than Best.
Where do you even go to get handwriting, like, certification skills? Probably from the fucking University of Phoenix.
So is the priest slain in the name of the Lord?
What did the University of Phoenix do to you?
They're like a for-profit college.
Are they?
Furthermore, Bess only matches the description of the Zodiac at the Paul Stine killing, but not the heavy-set, large-faced description of the Zodiac in the previous 3 killings. Gary Stewart also tried to test his father's DNA against the recovered 2002 Zodiac DNA, but investigators never complied, with the reason being not enough evidence to make a case. Gary Stewart has maintained this is a police cover-up.
Number one, why do they say there was not enough evidence to comply?
Yeah, why not just test against the DNA though?
Yeah, actually? Does it like cost money or like what's the reason not?
Maybe that DNA lab is super poppin', like they just have no time for theoretical tests. The second and most famous theory is from Robert Graysmith, who believes that Arthur Lee Allen is the Zodiac killer. This theory is the basis for the 2007 film The Zodiac, starring Jake Gyllenhaal as Robert Graysmith.
Who is that? Internet sleuth? Like us?
He's definitely more credentialed than us.
Okay. He has a card.
Actually, Robert Graysmith was a political cartoonist at the San Francisco Chronicle that became obsessed with finding the Zodiac. After a decade of personal research, Graysmith wrote 2 books entitled Zodiac and Zodiac Unmasked that heavily implicate Arthur Lee Allen as the Zodiac. Here's Graysmith's case for Arthur Lee Allen. The day of the 3rd Zodiac attack at Lake Berryessa in 1969, Allen told his family he was going scuba diving at Lake Berryessa. Later that evening, he would come home covered in blood with a bloody knife in his car. And if you'll recall, the Zodiac murdered Cecilia Shepard that day with the knife. 2 years later, in 1971, one of Allen's friends, Don Chaney, said that Allen called himself the Zodiac before the killer publicly referred to himself as the Zodiac.
Wait. So he literally called himself the Zodiac? Yes. Hey Ryan,
yeah, that's true.
Call me the Zodiac from now on. That's
How do
my
you
nickname.
even work that into a conversation?
You know, right?
The only time I could think of is when you go bowling and you write your name up on like the frames, like you write your name as the Zodiac.
Right.
And your friends be like, who the fuck wrote their name as the Zodiac? Could you imagine if he's like super douchey about it too? Like he won't respond unless you call him Zodiac. You're like, Arthur, you want to go out? And you'd be like, that's not my name.
Yeah.
Zodiac? Okay, Zodiac, do you want to go out? Okay.
Bruh, that's kind of some compelling evidence. I mean, then again, if they say something like, well, it kind of counts him out because of this happened, I'm going to be disappointed. Because if you come home on the same day with a bloody knife and stuff from the same area that this lady was killed at, and then you're going to call yourself the Zodiac before they even knew the killer had a nickname, it's looking pretty promising. He looks heavy set. He looks plain ass evil, bruh. If you go back and look at his face, bruh, he looks evil as shit. But looks can be deceiving. It's usually the ones that you never think it is. So it's like, we'll never know. And it all messed up because that lady, the dispatcher lady with the description, bro. We wouldn't even have to do theories.
And he also said Allen told him he was planning to hunt people with a gun and a flashlight tied to it.
What? You tell your friend that?
I know.
And you don't tell the
He
police.
just laughs. I was like, oh, Zodiac. You're such a funny guy.
You're such a trickster.
Yeah.
As a result of this information, the police would interview Allen a second time, where Allen would say his favorite book is The Most Dangerous Game, a book about a man who hunted humans, and a book referenced by the Zodiac in his first letter to the press.
Mr. Bond
to
did
add
that.
insult to injury, Allen was also wearing a Zodiac brand watch, which contained the same symbol the killer used. The police searched Allen's trailer home, where they found small dissected animals in a freezer, bloody knives, and sexual devices, but no direct evidence of the murders.
Told you. Didn't I tell you, bruh? He wasn't getting no booty cheeks. I told you. He thought something's better than having a woman, but you got sexual devices. Get out of here, bro. You wasn't getting no skin. I don't even know who you trying to cap for, bruh. This dude was weird, bruh. He was dissected animals. He lived in a trailer, bruh. It's him. I don't care what nobody said it. I'm putting my money on
It's a
him.
weird thing to keep in your freezer.
Yeah.
Cut up animals and sexual devices.
Oh, no, no, the sexual devices weren't in the freezer. That would be weird. No one wants a frosty dildo inserted into them.
In 1974, Allen was convicted of child molestation, a crime for which he spent 3 years in jail.
3 years?
Coincidentally, during this time, no Zodiac letters were received. In 1987, a San Jose jail inmate named Ralph Spinelli told police that Allen admitted to him that he murdered Paul Stine. In August 1991, Vallejo detective George Bauer interviews Mike Mageau, the man who survived the second Zodiac attack and saw the Zodiac without his mask on. When shown a lineup of photographs, Mageau picked out the man who shot him. It was Arthur Lee Allen.
What?
With this info, the police search Allen's home again, and this time they find formulas for bombs, constructed bombs, and tapes about the Zodiac killer. They interview Allen again, and he says he knows nothing.
Wait. They found bombs or plans for bombs in his house, and they're not able to detain him.
The Zodiac put diagrams of bombs in his fucking letters.
Yeah,
right. And
exactly.
he talked about putting bombs on children's school bus, and this guy molested a kid. Like,
and there's a fucking tapes about the Zodiac killer. This guy's reliving his greatest hits at home via audiobook.
And he just said, what, plead the fifth at this point? He said...
1 year later, in August 1992, Alan is found at home, dead from a suspected heart attack. And with that, let's transition into reasons why Alan may not be the Zodiac killer.
Bro, it's him, bro.
Alan's DNA was compared against the 2002 DNA extracted from stamped saliva on a Zodiac letter. It was not a match. However, it's also believed that Alan had a habit for letting others lick his stamps instead of him, which would explain why the profile didn't match him.
But I don't even like thinking that this guy was smart enough to think that.
In my opinion, that's an Olympic level stretch.
Additionally, in 1971, the police took Alan's fingerprints, but the prints did not match the bloody prints recovered from the Paul Stine crime scene. They also had Alan undergo handwriting analysis, but the handwriting did not match the Zodiac either. Alan also does not look like the sketch from the Paul Stine killing in the slightest, but it's worth mentioning that Arthur Lee Allen was considered the prime suspect for the Zodiac for most involved police departments, and is widely believed to be the Zodiac.
I mean, they can say that if they want, but I mean, the dude could have put on disguises. Anybody can wear disguises, you get what I'm saying? Especially if I know I'm a criminal, he'd be like, hey, I need you to write. Let me see you write something. Obviously, I'm not going to write the way that I write, because I know you want my handwriting for a reason. That's just common sense if you're a criminal. I'm not about to write how I write. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, bro. Like he said, I watched the little kitties. Who call kids kitties? Like, that's just creepy. I have never heard nobody call them, ooh, the kitties are getting off the school bus. School bus and kids, bro. The bombs matches up with the bombs in the paper. Tapes. Like, you're not no fanatic, bro. There's no way. You're a big fanatic and you just happen to line up most of the stuff. You got a gun and you got a knife. You got dissected animals. Usually dissected animals are serial killers. And they're just overlooking them. Well, the thing didn't match. The saliva didn't match. And then y'all didn't want to compare the other guy's DNA to the letter, but you want to compare his. So it's just like, I don't know. I don't even know what to believe anymore, because they're not even putting the same effort between the criminals that they're suspected of doing the killings. You have to treat everybody the same. They're giving one person more blood samples and saliva, and then you got other people that they said they thought was it, and they're not doing no test at all. It's just like, are you really trying to catch them, or are you just ready to sweep it under the rug?
Third theory is from retired Escalon, California police officer Harvey Hines, who believes Lawrence K., more commonly known by the surname Kane, was the Zodiac killer. Kane was involved in a car accident in 1962, which resulted in brain damage influencing his behavior. One psychologist claimed Kane was, quote, losing the ability to control self-gratification, end quote. Additionally, Kane can be seen in the Zodiac's My Name Is cipher. And in that cipher, there are 3 8s with circles around them. 3 times 8 is 24, and Kane was born in 1924.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
Yeah,
I
nah.
don't think you would like that one.
I don't like that
Well, I
either.
mean, it's just like reaching at straws at that point.
Yeah.
Additionally, the Zodiac's second victim, Darlene Farron, had a sister who said Kane was the man who followed and harassed Darlene in the weeks leading up to Darlene's murder. In the 1969 Paul Stine murder, the man suspected to be the Zodiac, seen by Officer Don Falk, was described as 35 to 45 years old. Kane was 45 in 1969. Officer Don Falk said in 1987 that of the hundreds of pictures over the past 20 years he had been shown, Kane was, quote, the closest of them as he remembered the killer, end quote. Kane also lived a 6-minute walk away from Mason and Geary, the location where cab driver Paul Stine was thought to have picked up his killer. In fact, an excerpt from Vallejo PD states, quote, investigation has placed K in the locales where several of the Zodiac's victims either lived or were killed, end quote. To piggyback on that sentiment, in 1970, Kane moved to South Lake Tahoe, and that year, a possible Zodiac victim that I didn't discuss earlier named Donna Lass disappears in South Lake Tahoe. Donna Lass also coincidentally worked at the same South Lake Tahoe hotel as Kane.
That's crazy.
But the last and arguably most damning evidence against Kane is about another Zodiac interaction I haven't discussed yet. On the night of March 22nd, 1970, on Highway 132 near Patterson, California, Kathleen Johns and her baby were tricked into riding in the Zodiac's car. After entering the car, the Zodiac told Johns that he was going to kill her and throw her baby out after her. As the Zodiac was about to make a turn, Johns jumped out of the car and ran into a nearby field with her baby and escaped. Despite some believing this is an unconfirmed Zodiac encounter, others believe a letter confirms this incident. Quote, so I now have a little list, starting with the woman plus her baby that I gave a rather interesting ride, end quote. The reason I bring this encounter up is because Kathleen Johns, unlike most surviving Zodiac victims, had extended FaceTime with the Zodiac. This is important because when shown a lineup of photographs, Kathleen Johns was reportedly able to pick out the man who tried to kill her. It was Lawrence Kane.
I mean, that's some pretty strong evidence.
But now let's look at evidence that proves Kane isn't the Zodiac. I couldn't find any instance of a DNA test against the recovered 2002 sample, nor could I find a record of Kane's fingerprint being tested against the fingerprint found at the Paul Stine crime scene. Furthermore, Kane's handwriting was not a match to the Zodiac's, but also could not be ruled out. Additionally, Kane, much like Earl Van Best Jr., matches the description of the killer at the Paul Stine murder scene, but does not match the large, heavy-set description of the Zodiac in the first 3 crime scenes.
Now that you've heard all the stories, who do you think did it?
I think those 2 at the end are the most plausible, but I think the real answer would have to be there was one person and then a copycat as well.
Yeah.
It's possible, in my mind, Arthur Lee Allen was the killer for the first 3, stopped, and then Lawrence Kane took over as a copycat.
Oh, well then, yeah.
It seems like to me he wanted to get caught. He was like asking to get caught almost.
He was playing that line. He was tired with like, oh, I've killed someone and gotten away with it. He's like, how far can I push it? That line.
That's true, yeah. Regardless, the case remains unsolved.
I was still kind of leaning towards Arthur Lee. You know what I'm saying? He got homemade construction bombs and stuff like that. Could have been a copycat killer. But the other one said she had extended FaceTime with him. So she was looking out for a cool minute because she gave him a ride. She pointed him out, bruh. Then it could have been him. But at the same time, it's not too rare to have 2 killers, bruh. They probably knew each other. But at the same time, the other dude looks heavy set, right? Heavy set and reddish brown, whatever hair. And then the other one, he looked like he was a little bit taller, but he had curly hair and he looked younger. And the other one that the police seen was 40. So I'm thinking maybe the police seen Arthur Lee, first one, because he looks kind of old, and then the other people seen him, which the other dude, he looks like he was 20-something years old, whatever it was. He looks young as shit. So they probably got his age mixed up. I don't know. They probably knew each other, man. But again, they never tested his fingerprint. They never got saliva match from him or anything. So we'll never know from his side. But they know from Arthur Lee that his fingerprints didn't match. But and all this other stuff, his handwriting was not a match at all. And then Kane's was inconclusive, so it's like can be or couldn't be, we can't really say. And then Arthur Lee said he's the Zodiac before the Zodiac even came out. So it's just like, me personally, knowing what I know before I said Arthur Lee, I think it was 2 people, bro. Because from him living in Lake Tahoe and the other dude living wherever that lake was, I think they knew each other, bro. They never talked about if they knew each other or if they worked together or stuff like that, because at the same time, the letters started coming, and then when he went to jail, the letters stopped coming, and then later on, the letters picked up again. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. But this video is by Buzzfeed Unsolved. If you guys haven't already, be sure you shoot down the description box. Click on the link and watch the video in entirety, because I was pausing and stopping and talking through the whole thing. Thank you guys so much for doing what you guys are doing. Keep doing it, and the videos will keep coming. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Reprisalzems, and welcome to the Crows. But again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Hit that like button. I know you guys enjoy.